like I said, to me, Princess Charlene cuts as a tragic figure like her as well. And as you know, surrounding her, I think at the time of her wedding, she tried to escape the Monaco a few times before the wedding. And then she actually cried at her wedding as well. That wasn't a good sign. Everyone could see she wasn't happy. I don't know why she went through with it and why she got pressured to marry, and she could have just stopped. She could have said no to him when he proposed, I suppose. So I don't know what happened there in the background. And and Prince Albert has always been known as a kind of like a playboy prince and so forth. He's dated so many supermodels, and he's acknowledged 2 illegitimate children, and one to an American woman and one to a Togolese flight attendant that he met. Togo is Africa, African country. So those are the 2 they acknowledged, and I think they're quite recent, maybe the last few years or so, and so forth. There's been another woman that's claimed in an Italian court that he say that he's the father of her child again. So, I guess for Princess Charlene, for any woman, actually having all this come out about your husband is not something that you can be happy with. And also, possibly while you were still married or in a relationship together. So obviously there was cheating involved. So imagine, as a woman even, how would she feel learning all that about her husband? And really, can she divorce him really? So in pressure, she's got 2 young children, twins that she gave birth to. She leaves, and then it kind of like she leaves her children. Because no way she'll be allowed to take them all away. There'll be heir. Well, the son is the heir to the throne. It's not like Meghan and Harry that just left, and if they divorce, which to me is a matter of sooner or later, actually sooner than later, then the children most likely stay in the US. One of them was born there, but also because they are not the heir to the throne, they're not in line, and even the father, Harry, is not a direct heir, so to speak. He's something like 1, 2, 3, like 4th in line to the throne now. So he's not a whole direct. So I guess that makes a difference. But let's say if it was the Princess of Wales, Catherine, if she divorced with William, then she wouldn't be allowed to take the children as her aim because they're direct heirs at that 4th point. So a bit different. So cutting a very tragic figure, Princess Charlene. Okay, so Princess Charlene, she was born Charlene Lynette Whitstock. Okay, and she was born in Bulawayo, Rhodesia, but it's now known as Zimbabwe. Okay, details about her. She is actually was an Olympic swimmer, so to speak, and she was born to Michael and a sales manager and Lynette. She was her mother was a competitive diver and swimming coach as well. So I guess that's where it's come from. And she started her career in swimming in 1996, winning the South African Championships and represented South Africa at the 2000 Olympic Games. So her team finishing 5th in the 4x100 meter medley relay. And then she retired from professional swimming in 2007. Anyway, let's have a look at her chart. So she was born at 12:35 p.m., 25th of January 1978. And from that, we generate her 4 pillars chart, and her year pillar is yin fire snake. Her month pillar is yin water ox. Her day pillar is yang fire dog, and her hour pillar is yang wood horse. Now from her chart, I can see some issues with her chart, mainly because she's got snake, ox, dog, and horse. Now, straight away, the ox and the snake combine. A partial 3 harmony metal combination. And the other half of her chart, the dog and the horse, forms a partial 3 harmony fire combination. So she's got a split there. So from that, you can kind of say that she seems something on the outside, but also something else on the inside. So, but 2 different things. For the person that we see, judged from the outside, is not necessarily the person that she is on the inside with the split chart. Also with the ox and the snake producing metal, it means that before she's 40, she is follow the money, and then after 40, she becomes dominant. She has a dominant chart there. And there's always in her chart this conflict between the two. So she goes one way and then the other way. Looking at this, you'll also always have some emotional issues, or let's say always some mental health issues and this struggle. Things are not always stable for her, in other words. Okay, now, first half of her life, before she's 40, when she's follow the money, her most favorable elements would be metal and earth, and least favorable wood and fire. And after 40, she becomes dominant fire. Her most favorable is wood and then water. So after 40, when she becomes dominant fire, her most favorable elements would be wood and water, and least favorable would be metal and fire. So the one thing she's got in common with both stages in her life is that she does not like fire. All right. So let's have a look at her history and what's been happening with her. Okay, in 1989, her family relocated to South Africa. And in 1996, she started her swimming career. And 1996 was a rat year. The rat combines with the ox month as well. So the ox, the month, it represents career. And so, yes, it's activated her career, that ox, with a water combination. And so, yeah, she started swimming. And now, and she did very well with that, because 4 years later, she represented South Africa at the Olympics. And she also represented South Africa at the 1998 and 2002 Commonwealth Games, winning a silver medal in the 4x100 medley relay at the Commonwealth Games. And she finished 6th at the 2002 Short Course World Championships for 200 meters breaststroke. Okay, she's actually very nice, it seems. Throughout her career, she gave swimming lessons to underprivileged children. Now, the big thing that happened to her and capitulated her to become world famous is that she met Prince Albert of Monaco in the year 2000 at the Marie Nostrum swimming meet in Monaco. Okay, now the year 2000 was a dragon year. A dragon, and what happens with a dragon? Dragons clashes with her dog that governs her house or spouse. So that activates it, and so rightly she met her husband there. Something happened to her. And what about for Albert? Okay, Albert's chart with his details, he was born on the 14th of March, 1958. So he is 20 years older than she is. And from his chart, his year pillar is Yang Earth Dog. Month pillar is Yin Wood Rabbit. Day pillar is Yang Metal Tiger. And our pillar is Yin Metal Snake. So he has dog, rabbit, tiger, and then snake. Now, the year 2000, how does that interact with his chart? His chart, it would interact and combine. The dragon would combine with his tiger and rabbit to form a seasonal wood combination. Okay, look, the thing is, his chart, his tiger and dog combine to produce fire, and that provides power for him. So, his best elements will be fire and wood, and his least favorable would be metal and water. So, loves fire. So, with that dragon in that year, the year 2000, forming that seasonal wood combination for him, that's a favorable element for him. So it's a good year for him. And also, yes, there's combinations with his house of spouse as well. So he met Charlene. Now, about their charts, are they compatible? How do they interact? Well, we can see that the dog that governs Charlene's house of spouse combines with Albert's tiger in his house of spouse. So there's already a combination there directly in the houses of spouse. And so what combination does that mean? Okay. Well, the thing is they actually have also, besides that, they have a full 3-harmony fire combination. Charlene has the horse and the dog, and Albert has the tiger. And all three to them produces fire. And what did I say about Charlene? Fire is not a good element for her, but it is the best element for him. So in this relationship, it's clear that it would benefit him rather than her. And I think people will agree who've seen it play out. It has not been good for her, at least mentally. I mean, look, on a professional level and in terms of lifestyle, yes, she now has so much money, living the wealth that she would never have been able to achieve herself. The lifestyle and the fame as well, and the status, being royalty. But in terms of personally, it hasn't been good for her. It hasn't been good for her at all. So that's straight away, yes, there was attraction when they met, but in this chart, it's not good for her on a personal level. Okay, this is something I almost missed, and that is during the year 2000, Prince Albert went through the goat luck cycle. Okay, and at that time, the year 2000, Charlene was going through the rabbit luck cycle, at the tail end of the rabbit luck cycle, and goats and rabbits combined. They combined to produce a partial 3-harmony wood combination. So there again, more wood. And for Albert, that is his second best element. Okay, but for Charlene, it's not her best element yet until she is over 40. But then again, it is an extra combination, and so the attraction is there. All right. Now, moving on, they made their first public debut as a couple at the opening ceremony of the Winter Olympics in 2006. Okay, 2006, that was the dog year. So the dog year combined it with Prince Albert's tiger in his house of spouse, and also the same as the dog in Charlene's house of spouse. So it made sense there then that they came out as a couple then on that year. And in 2010, they announced their engagement. Yeah, 2010, what was that? That was a tiger year. And a tiger year is the same as Prince Albert's tiger in his house of spouse. There again, it's activated again. And the tiger year, what does it do for Charlene? It combines with her house of spouse, the dog in her house of spouse, but also in 2010, that was in Charlene's dragon luck cycle. And like I say, in the dragon luck cycle, or the dragons, combines with Albert's tiger and rabbit to form a 3-seasonal wood combination. There it is again, wood. Lucky for him. More luck for him. Now, when the palace announced their engagement, she got a diamond engagement ring, which was a pear-shaped 3-carat diamond at the center, surrounded by around brilliant diamonds. And the wedding was originally scheduled for July 2011, but was moved to a bit later to prevent a conflict with the IOC meeting. And the couple were married in a civil ceremony on the 1st of July 2011 in the throne room of the palace. Okay. Now, 2011, they were married. And look, this is the thing. 2011 was a rabbit year, and it combined it with her dog in her house of spouse. Okay, so that activated her house of spouse again. So yeah, they're married, but there were, as you might have remembered, there were all sorts of rumors and drama leading up to the wedding. Supposedly, she tried to flee the country a few times to avoid the wedding. And they took her passport, palace officials took her passport off her so she couldn't flee, and they were trying to convince her to go through with the wedding. And for all those that watched the wedding, she cut really as a real tragic figure at her own wedding. I mean, we can see her crying, a poor thing. And unlike with most brides that cry out of happiness, she was crying tears of sorrow. You can tell there's a difference when people cry out of happiness and unhappiness. No, it's nothing to laugh about, really. It's just the whole situation, I guess, was all laughable. I can see why from their charts, why he really wanted to marry her. And I can also understand from their charts why she didn't really want to marry him, even though the attraction was there. And I guess to a lot of people, when thinking, why go through it? And then if you're that unhappy, are she being forced to marry him? From all the drama surrounding it, it seems like she had been. It looks like, there is an attraction there that she has for him. But I guess unconsciously, she would also be able to feel that he's bad for her. This situation is bad for her. And yeah, that's why she wanted to flee, this poor thing. And I guess, with rumors of him, he's philandering and so forth. I mean, like his son, I think he had a son where through an affair he had with a Togolese flight attendant. And the son was born in 2003. And that is being a bit naughty, seeing that he met Charlene in 2000. Presumably they started a relationship then. But then he would have also been having a relationship with his other girlfriend to have gotten her pregnant. And his son, Alexandre, was born in 2003. So that's during the relationship with Charlene as well. Naughty boy. Being very naughty and bad with Charlene at that time. And he only acknowledged paternity in 2005 after a paternity suit But the mother filed against him, and so he fessed up. Yeah, that would not have been a nice thing. I mean, already, I think 1992 or something, that he had another illegitimate daughter first. That was the first child he had with an American woman. And it was only later that he admitted to paternity. And now apparently I heard, it was quite recent, yeah, an Italian woman father said that, claims that he's the father of her child as well. Imagine being his wife as she is. So I can understand that she has been very, very unhappy. And though in 2014, the palace did announce her pregnancy, and she gave twins in that December. Okay, a female, a girl, and a boy. So it's Princess Gabriella was born first, and then Prince Jacques, who is the heir apparent, being a boy. So in Monaco, they still have preference with the male, have male preference. All right, now in 2014, that was a horse year. And our pillar, which is also her children's pillar, is a horse. So that was activated there, 2014. Okay. Now, there's been lots of issues with Charlene, okay, because she's had a number of health issues. In 2021, apparently, while on a trip to raise awareness about rhino poaching in South Africa, she caught a ear, nose, and throat infection, and it led to problems with equalizing pressure and prevented her from flying above 20,000 feet. Okay. And she has had multiple surgeries and procedures, and she's been ill, so she's stayed in South Africa. It was like, a year that she was in South Africa. So she was away from her husband and her two small children. And apparently in November 2021, the palace announced that Charlene would be resting and that she had cancelled all her activities owing to her ill health and deep fatigue, and was in a recovery period in a location outside Monaco. And after a 4-month stay at a Swiss clinic, in 2022, Charlene was back in Monaco with her family and was expected to restart her duties. And now apparently she sees her husband by appointment. So, in 2022, in an interview with a magazine, Charlene described her health as still being fragile and saying the road has been long, difficult, and so painful. Today, I feel calmer. Now, last year in 2023, there was speculation that Albert and Charlene was about to separate again. Those rumors surged after she deleted her Instagram account. Though the life story seems to go on, and she seems to continue to attend to her duties and is back in the public eye. Though it doesn't seem to be a happy one. It's more of saying, I guess it's like a duty and obligation that she has to do. So the big question is, will they stay together? Will they stay together? Okay. This year. Now, this year is the dragon year. And so, again, like I say, the dragon and the dog clash. The dog being governing Charlene's house of spouse. So, not good news there. But the dragon is good for Prince Albert. And this year should be good for him because he makes a whole 3-harmony wood combination with the rabbit and the tiger in his year. So, there would be problems in the relationship already this year, being with that clash with Charlene. on her house of spouse? Or what about next year? Well, next year it's the year of the snake. And so it's not so much a clash with them. However, I noticed that next year Charlene would be going into her horse luck cycle. Now, and luck cycles last for 5 to 7 years. So this is more ominous. It can be good or it can be ominous. The horse combines with Prince Albert's house of spouse and combines with Charlene's house of spouse with her dog to produce fire. Now, with Charlene's horse luck cycle, that would give Prince Albert the full 3-harmony fire combination, because the horse combines with his tiger and his dog. So that's great for him for 5 to 7 years with her. However, that also means that Charlene would get this fire for 5 to 7 years. And not only that, it's activated both their houses of spouse for 5 to 7 years. So what is that going to mean then? What it means is that normally when you're single, as I said, and you have either a clash or a combination in your house of spouse that gets activated, then you can meet someone. However, if you're married, an activation of your house of spouse can mean a split. If it's a clash, straight off, danger of a split. If it is a combination, like in this case it is, they can still separate. Okay. And I'm leaning towards them separating because, firstly, all this fire is very bad for Charlene. And secondly, this activation on an already fragile relationship, putting additional pressure on it for 5 to 7 years, it's a bit much. And it looks like in this case, I think this marriage is gone or will be gone. After next year, well, after this year, and then it will slowly. They might take some time announcing the separation for appearance's sake, and because the children are young. So if the separation and divorce is not official, it would practically be so unofficially. I guess in the case of like Princess Diana and Charles, where they did not divorce for years later, but effectively the marriage was over for years. And it was just a pretense. And I guess everyone just pretended. But it's like an open secret that their marriage was over. And I guess if it's not going to be officially over for them, it'll be like Princess Di and Charles's case, where in practice it is over. So that's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. I can see why he really likes her, but yeah, he's not good for her, I guess. And sometimes I guess all the money and fame in the world is just not worth it. And in this case, it did not bring her happiness. So that's my reading on Princess Charlene and Prince Albert's marriage. All right.